Okay, Jai Jinendra everyone. Good evening and welcome to our session today with Vinodbhai. Before we start, can I request Parul Ben to open the session with the Naukar Mantra, please?
Jai Jinendra Pratane, if we can close our eyes and put our hands in a praise position, please. And I'll start. Namo Arahantaram, Namo Namo, Namo Sitaram, Namo Namo, Namo Ayadiyaram, Namo Namo, Namo Uttaradhyana, Namo Namo, Namo Loye Savasahuram, Namo Loye Savasahuram, Esa Panchanamokara, Sava Pava Panashara, Mangalarancha Savesim, Patamang Have Mangalam, Patamang Have Mangalam, Patamang Have Mangalam.
Thank you very much, Parul Ben, for that. So this evening, Vinodbhai is going to be narrating some stories from chapter 13 of Uttaradhyayana Sutra. So may I please invite Vinodbhai to lead the session, start the session.
Jai Jinendra everyone. And thank you, Bharti Ben. As you said, we are going to narrate one more story this time. The story is from, of course, Uttaradhyayana Sutra, chapter 13. The name of the chapter is Chitta Sambhutiya. That means regarding Chitta and Sambhuti. Here is always added. It says regarding so and so, like Hari Kesiya. It was about Hari Kesi. So Chitta Sambhutiya is about Chitta and Sambhuti. The story is somewhat simple. In a way, it's not very long. But what we can learn from this story is more important. In all these stories of Uttaradhyayana Sutra, there is some message, and we must concentrate on that message, that what the author, in this case, Charam Tirthankar Mahavir Swami, what is trying to say, and what is trying to teach us really. So here, after narrating this story, we'll discuss a little bit what the real message is, what we can learn from the story, and does it apply in our day-to-day life? That is more important. Otherwise, the story remains just one story in a holy book, with no reference, with no relevance. But this is not right. We have to relate all these stories with our day-to-day problems, with our feelings, with our good and bad deeds. So let us see what the story is all about. I'm going to share some slides. When I say the slides, they're very simple ones. It's just, hold on. Right, I hope you can see this. And as I said, it's very simple. Trouble is, I can't find much time to do the colorful nice backgrounds and pictures and other things. But let's see what the story is all about. Yeah. So the story, as I said, is called Chitta Sambhutiya. Chitta and Sambhuti. And it has been taken from the chapter number 13, Adhyay 13. Right. So this Chitta and Sambhuti were two brothers. They stayed together for 5 janma, 5 bhav during the birth and death. 5 janma સુધી એ સાથે રહ્યા. But on the 6th one, they were separated. So one message here and one thing we have to learn is why they were separated. What happened? So we'll learn about these things gradually. As I said, the story is not very long, but we'll discuss a little bit about the message and what we can do in our day-to-day life. Right. The first birth of these two brothers, Chitta and Sambhuti, they were servants in one household. They were called Dashan Das. They were merely servants, but they loved each other. They were very simple, very religious, and that's how they spent their life as the servants in one big household. They had no desire, nothing to achieve or nothing really. They were just very happy, very religious, right-minded people. So the first birth was that of servants in one household. In the second birth, they became deer, haran in the jungle, and they were together all the time. They loved each other because they were like two brothers. These two deers were like that, and they always were together. So second birth was that of deer, haran. Again, no problem, nothing much happened in their life. The third life, the Trijo Bhav, they were born as swans in one of the lakes. Again, they were together, both the brothers were born as swans, happily living in that lake, and there were no other problems, nothing. Now, fourth bhava, in their fourth janma, when they were born fourth time, they were two brothers again, but in the house of one Chandal. Now, the Chandal means the one who is from the lowest caste is the Chandal. In olden times, they were supposed to clean the toilets and other things and do all sorts of dirty work, laborious work. So both these brothers were born in Chandal's house, and they were called Chitta and Sambhuti. So one is Chitta, another is Sambhuti. That is their names. Now, the Chandal, what happened once, that one minister in that kingdom was in trouble. Minister was a bad person. He was in trouble. He was going to be hanged. That was his punishment from the king. He was going to be hanged. But this Chandal saves the minister and hides him in his own house. And Chandler says, you'll have to do one thing. Minister, you know music very well. You know how to play instruments. You can sing very well. You know all the ragas and other things. You will have to teach all this to my two sons. My two sons, Chitta and Sambhuti. You will have to teach them. Because I have saved your life. I am hiding you from the king's soldiers, so they won't find you here. But you do this thing. The minister said yes, and he starts teaching music to both the brothers. But what happens? A day came in their life that minister again became somewhat powerful. And instead of recognizing that the Chandal had saved my life, the minister drives both the brothers out because he had got everything now. Chitta knew what has happened. He took everything with samta bhav. He thought that, oh well, perhaps this was in my destiny. Perhaps this was my karma. And that is why this minister is harassing us. So that's how the chitta, one brother took with samta bhav. But Sambhuti, the other brother, he cultivated the feelings of revenge. He was very angry in his mind, very wound up, that how come this minister trying to be so cruel with us? How come he behave like this? We helped him. So the Sambhuti had feelings of revenge in his mind, was burning with this anger in his heart. And moreover, Sambhuti, after that time, he started indulging in material pursuit. Now let us see this. Two brothers, one incident. Chitta took it with samta bhav. He had no bad feelings towards that minister. He had nothing in his mind. He said, okay, whatever is happened is happened. I will go on my own way. And that way is a Jineswar Bhagwan's way. But Sambhuti, no. He thought that no, this is not right. And also he had started acquiring wealth and other things, and he was after happiness, more. Now this is Nyanu. You can see this word here, Nyanu. Worth keeping in mind, what is Nyanu? Nyanu kone kehvaય? Say you do good things in your life, but you expect fruits. You expect good result. You expect that people around me should praise me. You expect that the other person will also reciprocate. and he will do good to me. This is all Nyan. Now it's worth learning life. Expectations. We expect from our nearest and dearest ones. Oh, so and so was in hospital. I went to see him. I phoned him. Now today I'm not well and he's not coming. He's not bothering. And it winds me up, isn't it? It makes me angry. It makes me very unhappy. Why? Because I was expecting something. This expectation is the cause of your misery. Because you were expecting. This wasn't fulfilled, but you were so obsessed that the other person must do this, must do that, must do that. I helped him, he should help me. I did that, he should do this to me. That is what we are doing in our relations. When you get a time one day, examine yourself, examine your relations. તમને થશે કે you also have expectations from your relatives, from your friends, from the nearest and dearest ones. And what happens? If they don't do as per your expectation, it will make you very unhappy. So this misery, feelings of unhappiness, where it came from? Did the other person give it to you? You might think that yes, it happened because that person didn't say good about me, he didn't come to see me. I had invited him for dinner, he never invited me. All these things. So, you are not happy. So the cause of this misery, unhappiness is your mind, because you are expecting. If you give up all expectations, you won't be sorry. I always learned in my life that if you get something, it's your good luck. Accept it with good feelings, with thanks. But if you do not get, well, so be it. Forget about that. And when I say get something, is what? If you get praises, if you get gifts, presents, good positions, a promotion from your boss, all these things, something from your relatives. If you get these things, it's your good luck. Accept it with thanks, with gratitude, everything. But if you do not get it, no good complaining about it. You will make yourself unhappy. The other person wouldn't care, probably. So, and Nyan has another deeper meaning. It's your desire. Desire to have fruit. You did some good thing. And you think that, oh, I have done good karmas in my life. Sara karma કર્યા છે, સારા કર્મ કર્યા છે. મારું તો સારું જ થવું જોઈએ. Maybe it doesn't happen. You suffer. જે તમે આશા રાખી હતી, you are thinking about the result, the fruit is also Nyan. in a Bhagavad Gita. It's a beautiful sentence, beautiful, beautiful verse. Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Karmani vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. All you have to do is your duty. Your right is on doing some good karma. That is your right. ये तुम्हारो हक है. So do it. ये तुम्हारी maybe your responsibility है. You do it. Do good karma. But without expecting any result. Karmani vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. You have no right to expect the fruit of your karmas. Maybe it's too simplistic. We all expect something, If you pursue something, of course, we'll expect. You'll expect good result. That is acceptable. But if you think that someone has to do in reciprocation, same thing all the time, then you must understand that all people are not same. Otherwise, you will make yourself unhappy, you will have sleepless nights, and there will be no end to it. So that was their fourth bhav, chitta and sambhutis. What happens? After their death, chitta and sambhuti, after their death, both the brothers were born in different households. Now this is what happened first time. They were always together in one household. Even when they were deer in the jungle, even they were swan in the lake, even they were servants. But now, because of their different attitude towards the life and towards the gain and material pursuit, both were born in different households. Sambhuti still was great because he had done a lot of penance in his life in the last birth when he was Sambhuti. So he becomes Chakravarti in the next birth, like a big king. And Chitta takes birth in one merchant's house. Chakravarti is, of course, much more higher position, having everything which one can ask for. Merchant, of course, wasn't poor, but still not as big as Chakravarti's status, nowhere near. So both were brought up in different households, and it so happened that both met after a few incidents. Because once Brahmadat Chakravarti because something happened in his mind and he started remembering, and he said that, oh, I had probably a brother, and few incidents happened and he meets his brother. Both brothers met. One was Chakravarti, another one was merchant son, merchant, businessman. Again, what happened? Chitta was very simple-minded. No niyanu, no expectation, nothing. Straightforward, religious person with utmost samta bhav. But Brahmadat Chakravarti, although he had immense wealth, he wasn't satisfied. He wanted more, more, more. And he had attachment to his power, to his position, to his wealth and glory, he was attached to everything. While the Chitta, he had no attachment. He was detached, complete vairagya. So Chit teaches few things, gives discourses, and explains to Sambhuti that, oh Sambhuti, oh the Brahmadat Chakravarti, because he wasn't Sambhuti at that time, he was Brahmadat Chakravarti. You must cultivate the idea of detachment. Start giving up everything. Start renunciating. And see, he says quite a few verses which have been given in chapter number 13. Let me read one or two original, and I will read the translation as well. The translation in Gujarati, but I'll tell you in English. Jahev siho vamiyam gahaya machu naram nei hu antakale natassa maya va piya va bhaya kalam mitam sahara bhavanti. First in Gujarati. જેવી રીતે સિંહ મૃગને પકડીને લઈ જાય, તેવી રીતે મૃત્યુ માણસને પકડીને લઈ જાય છે, ઉપાડી જાય છે. એ વખતે માતા, પિતા, ભાઈ કોઈ બચાવી શકતું નથી, દુઃખમાં ભાગીદાર થઈ શકતું નથી. So the English translation is, as a brave and powerful lion catches a deer and takes it away, no other deer is able to stop him, Similarly, death comes to us and takes it away. And no one, mother, father, brother, wife, husband, or anyone, no one can save us. No one can take our pain. So who says this? Chitta says this to his brother Brahmadat Chakravarti, Sambhuti. Okay, oh brother, try to give up everything. You are too attached with your things and nothing is permanent. And then he says, Jaitam si bhoge chayum asatto ajjaim kammaim kare hirayam dhamme thiyo savapayanu kampito ho hi si devo yubi. He Raja, જો તું ભોગને છોડવાને અશક્ત છે તો ધર્મમાં સ્થિર થા, બધા પ્રાણી ઉપર અનુકંપા કરવા કામ કર, એનાથી તારી સારી ગતિ થશે. So the Chitta says to Brahmadat Chakravarti, O king, I can see that you are unable to give up everything. You are too attached to your wealth and possessions and everything. But at least start trying to do good karmas. Also cultivate the feelings of ahimsa, jivdaya, compassion towards all living beings. Be a friend to all living beings and help others. At least you can do this thing if you can't give up. So gradually, this way, you will be able to give up your worldly possession. You will be able to detach yourself. So there are quite a few similar slokas in this one, where one brother gives and teaches his other brother that please give up Nyan, expectations, desire. You perhaps know that in Buddhist philosophy, what is the root cause of all the misery? It's called Chattari Arya Satya, Four Noble Truth. Bhagwan Buddha said that the root cause of our misery, our unhappiness is our desire. Now, original word is Trishna. Trishna is slightly more than desire, but like intense desire. I want to achieve, I want to do this, I want to get this, I want to get this. So you are in pursuit, you get obsessed with that. And when it doesn't happen, you become so miserable that sometimes some people commit suicide, some people take revenge on others, and some people become very depressed. So these are the things, this is the message. And as I said, the story is not long one, but we want to discuss, and I want to know something from you as well. How do you find this story? And what message you can take home? Would that affect in our day-to-day life? Is it any useful? This message is useful? What do you think? Let me pause share. Stop share, yeah. Right. Who is going to give answer?
Yeah, as you said, Vinodbhai, such a short story, but such a powerful message, and lot to be like a lot of food for thought in this. And I'm sure it affects every single person every day. It's like a constant battle.
That's right. It happens in our everyday life. All these things. Yeah.
So the thing is, we understand all of this, but why is it so difficult to put that in practice? And also before that, I had another question. You know how you're saying their lives until fourth birth, they were all like doing similar things, right? They were swans and they were deer. So how did that like karmas end up being so different that they ended up with such different temperaments in that life of the fourth birth?
After fourth bhav, it so happened that their mindset worked in different ways. They both were, had the same sort of contacts, same sorts of, say, education or whatever,
Yeah.
But it's all in our mind. One started thinking in a positive manner, in a proper religious manner, in a samta bhav manner, but the other, his mind was completely different. And once you start thinking either this way or that way, then the result is always different, of course. We know that everything is in mind. And again, in Bhagavad Gita, it says that mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Again, very beautiful sentence. Our mind is the cause of our bondage or our emancipation, our liberty.
True.
This is our mind. But mana eva manushyanam karanam. આપણું મન જ કારણ છે. શેનું કારણ છે? બંધન કે મોક્ષ. એ આપણને એનાથી જ મળે છે મન. જો આપણું મન કાબુમાં રાખી શકીએ, if we can control our mind, તો control our senses, and then of course it's a different thing.
But Vinodbhai, that is the most difficult thing, isn't it?
It's
to control your mind.
Difficult thing for anybody.
Yeah.
Even for saintly person also. I know it's very difficult, and we can see these things in religion, in politics, in a lot of other things, because they just slide on a slippery slope.
You try not to expect,
Yeah,
and yet, it changes and you want to expect. things from others when you do something for somebody.
Yeah,
It's always the case.
it is difficult. I am not saying that I am 100% free from it, but I try to remember always,
Try,
and
yeah.
it has helped me very much.
Yeah.
That if you don't get something, you praised him so long for time and time again. But if that man criticizes you, then you can say, okay, maybe it's my bad past karmas, past bad karmas. Maybe it was in my luck. Maybe something wrong with that his mind. Oh, well, what I should do? Try and forget it. But what we do? We keep in our mind for very long time. એ આપણી ટ્રબલ છે. એ થોડું હું કલ્ટિવેટ કરતા શીખ્યો છું. જવા દો, જવા દો, જવા દો, જવા દો. Leave it, leave it, leave it.
I also wanted to know how Sambhuti died. You said he had revenge in his mind. So how did he die?
That is why, of course, there were quite a few things. He had revenge in his mind, but he had done so much penance and everything. So he was born as Brahmadat Chakravarti.
So
that was his real test. He could have done good things in that life, but again, he was very slow and he didn't do anything really.
Okay.
So only the other brother, Chitta.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is again us. Lot of you will see a lot of rich people. They do all sorts of bad things, and some rich people they do good things.
Like, how people normally say money is cause of evil, but I don't think it's money. It's to do with your thought process.
It is exactly right, Parthiban. It's not money. Money can be a good tool. It can be used in a proper way, in a nice way, and everything. Yeah. And some rich people in our Jain history, they were very rich. But they lived their life like saint. They donated a lot of wealth, everything.
They say that you want good, like you want money as well, but more important, you want subuddhi sathe. Then it makes you spend that money wisely.
Make that, yes, spend it wisely. Yeah, definitely. And we can see a lot of rich people in this world, They've got different attitudes. They've got different things in their life. Yeah, different mindset.
Anybody else wants to share anything?
If there anyone, otherwise we'll finish early because we are only about 10 people here. I'm sure someone can relate something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're such a nice group, small group. So please feel free to share your experiences. Everybody, I'm sure, has these dilemmas and experiences in their life which you can share and we all can learn from.
True, yeah.
Like, what are the challenges and how do you overcome those things? Like Vinodbhai shared, like he has found a way of dealing with this. So if anybody else wants to share their experience. Everybody's perfect.
I will disclose one secret about this thing. There is a nice song in one of the films, Bollywood films. The film is called Hum Dono. It's quite an old film, maybe 55, 60-year-old film. There's one beautiful sentence in that. And I learned that from someone else that one should cultivate this in one's life. जो मिल गया उसी को मुकद्दर समझ लिया, जो खो गया मैं उसको भुलाता चला गया. And that I always remember in my life. जो मिल गया उसी को मुकद्दर समझ लिया. Whatever I got, whatever I obtained, whatever comes to me, I think that, oh, it's my good luck to there. जो खो गया उसको मैं भुलाता चला गया. But whatever goes away from me, whatever I lose, relations, these, that, other things, मैं उसको भुलाता चला गया. I just try and forget that. And as I said, I learned that from one of the films.
You can learn from anywhere, right? If your
Anywhere.
mind is open,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
get messages from everywhere.
The poet has given a very good message, and it really struck me at that time that, oh, this is the one we have to remember, we have to, yes, cultivate in our life, and we have to learn a lot about that. And it has helped me. That sentence.
How long did it take, Vinodbhai? Like at what age did you start thinking that you've kind of got this balance?
I think after passing my engineering degree and other things, and rightly or wrongly, I didn't take much interest in money. But God has given me, and I'm very content, yes. Yeah, God has given me.
Good message.
Yeah, we are always making new friends, as you said, Parulben, yeah. And
No
that is
matter,
what-
no matter who we meet in our lives, we are learning.
That's right.
New
Oh, yeah.
things.
Consider yourself always that you are always a student. And that is what I think. We are student. We are learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's true, isn't it? Yeah.
Else wants to share anything? Hinaben, Harshna, Purviben?
Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been quite interesting. Thank you, Vinodbhai.
Yeah, yes.
Very interesting. I think the thing that I find difficult is sometimes just let go. But sometimes I feel that okay, let go kare na ko, but it's
It
letting
comes
go
back
from the mind.
again and again and again. તમારા
Yeah.
માઇન્ડમાં લઈ લો. રાતે સુવા જાવ ને ત્યારે તમને
Yeah, so
trouble
it's
shoot.
letting go from the mind, which is
That's so true, actually. Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
so,
But we have to try.
Or you can get into that reverse ego mode. You think you're letting go, but you then keep patting yourself on the back all the time, saying, "Look how great I am! I've let go. Look, who to kitni sari shuke maine maaf kar di to." But the fact that it's still playing on your mind,
Yeah.
that means you've got into this reverse ego cycle.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, yeah. પણ yeah. પણ તમને જ એ નુકસાન કરે છે. Sometimes mind ને લીધે body ને પણ નુકસાન થાય. તમારા હેલ્થમાં પણ થાય.
yes.
If you are
Definitely.
always say disappointed, depressed, and other things, yeah, થાય. That's what science says.
Yes.
As you said earlier, Vinodbhai, like that attitude of gratitude, like you started your talk saying about gratitude. So I think if you have that gratitude about things, and once you cultivate this habit, I think you also feel generally lighter. Because your thoughts are so much more purer. You're not carrying all this baggage in your mind. So
Yes.
it makes you feel lighter as well.
Yeah, definitely. The feelings of gratitude, yeah. And I mean, of course, your children and they are all brought up in a nice, good surroundings, they have learned a lot, religious other thing. But in some household, you will see that children have no feeling for gratitude, They get everything in their life. And still, so it's also Mahabhab's duty, the parents' duty, to teach good values, which Bhartiban and Rajiv, you have done it and everything, because that's what happens.
By God's grace, yeah.
No, yes, I know them, yes, so it's very good. It's good sanskar, what we can say. Yeah.
Okay, so I think if nobody wants to share anything else, we can
finish,
conclude our evening. So anybody wants to do Manglik, or can I request Vinodbhai if you don't mind doing?
એને છે હિનાબેન છે કે કોણ છે?
હિનાબેન, તમે કરો છો Manglik? હિનાબેન?
નથી પ્રેઝન્ટ. ચાલો સર.
Is left.
ચત્તારી મંગલમ અરિહંતા મંગલમ સિદ્ધા મંગલમ સાહુ મંગલમ કેવલી પુન્નતો ધમ્મો મંગલમ ચત્તારી લોકોત્તમા અરિહંતા લોકોત્તમા સિદ્ધા લોકોત્તમા સાહુ લોકોત્તમા કેવલી પુન્નતો ધમ્મો લોકોત્તમો ચત્તારી શરણં પવચ્ચામિ અરિહંતે શરણં પવચ્ચામિ સિદ્ધે શરણં પવચ્ચામિ સાહુ શરણં પવચ્ચામિ કેવલી પન્નતમ ધમ્મં શરણં પવચ્ચામિ. જીનેશ્વર ભગવાનની આજ્ઞા વિરુદ્ધ કશું બોલાયું હોય તો મન વચન કાયા કરી મિચ્છામિ દુક્કડમ. સૌને જય જિનેન્દ્ર.
Thank you very much, Vinodbhai.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, and see you next week.